Hi, and welcome to another Mailchimp update. So in this section, what I want to do, I want to go through the campaigns and automation. So as you know, automation has been moved into campaigns. It has been merged with campaigns, and that's what I'm going to do in the next section. I'm going to go through each and every element, any element that I believe you should know about. I'm going to go through it. So at any point during this section, if you have any question, just let me know and I will see how to help you. And at this point also, if you haven't left your review for this course, just let me know what you think. Just leave a review for me and I will see if there is anything that I can add based on your review, or if there is any topic that I should look into, especially if you demand for it. So I will see you in the next video, and in the next video I'm going to come here into campaigns, and here under campaigns I'm going to click on this button so that we can see the options that we have, and then I'm going to go through them. I will also tell you about this in the next video. So I'll see you in the next video when we continue from here. If you have any question, please let me know. Welcome back. So if you look on this end, you will see these elements that we have here. We have recent, ongoing, draft, and completed, and we also have a create folder. So as we know, campaigns have been merged with automations. So if you want to create a campaign, you'll have to do it through here. If you want to create an automation, you'll have to do it using this button. So on this end, we have this recent, and recent will show you all the campaigns, any automations that you've created and sent or that you've set up. You'll see them here. And ongoing, these are, as the name suggests, ongoing will be any automations that you have, they will be here. So that's ongoing. You'll see all the active ones which are here. And drafts, as the name suggests, if you have any campaign drafts or you have any automation drafts, they will be here. Completed, these are items that you sent and are not in any workflow. In most cases, this will be one-time campaigns. So if it is a one-time campaign that you sent, you will find it here. If you have an automation whose sequence has been completed, if the sequence of that automation is complete, then it will also be here under completed items. Then you can create a folder. So if none of this match what you're trying to create, you can create a folder. Maybe you can call this students marketing or whatever you want to call it. It is just a way for you to group certain items, and then if you click on it, if I click on this name, you can see it doesn't have any items in it. Let me just do a quick example here. So let's say that I create, let me just create an email. And then let me just create a quick plain text. Campaign name, test, begin. So there we go. You can choose a list. Let me choose that sample list. And is there anything else here? I'll just click on next. This is a sample campaign. And then you know about all these elements. So this field, let me just call it test. Let me click on next. I don't want to put anything else there. This is just a sample campaign, sample. And then where it says enter your content, I will enter my content here. Just say, hey, test. That's it for me. And if you want to add merge tags, if you want to add the merge tags, you can click there, but I'll just click next. And then just like that, everything is ready. I can click to send or I can schedule. So let me schedule this one so that we can go back and have a look at it. Send at a specific time. Let me say I want to send it at 7 p.m. and I can just schedule campaign. So my campaign has been scheduled. Let me go back into campaigns. So if I come back, you'll see that there's nothing in here in our students campaign. If we go into recent, we can move it into this students marketing. So if you're grouping your marketing items, you can just move them. Like if I click this one and I click move to, you see the folder that I've created is here. You can even create another one if you want to. So if I click move this, it will move it inside here. So you can do the same for other campaigns. So if you have other campaigns that you've already sent and you want to move them somewhere, maybe you're creating something like an archive, you can archive campaigns that you've already sent. So these completed ones, if they're there and you want to put them in the archive, you can do that. Or you can also move others from here and put them wherever you want them to be, depending on the folders that you've created. So in this video, we've just done a brief overview of what these are, and you've seen me create this folder. Which also enables you to create your own folder depending on how you want to group your campaigns or how you want to group your marketing materials. So that's it for this video. In the next video, let's go on and look at more items here under campaigns. So if you have any questions, make sure you let me know. And if you haven't left a review, leave your review, and I will see you in the next video when we continue from here. Hi and welcome back. In the last video we saw these items. In this video, let's click on create campaign so that we can see more options that we have under create campaign. So I will click on create campaign, and here you can create different types of campaigns. You can create an email, campaign, you can create automations, and all of that will have to start from here. Or if you need some help, just click here to see the guide. And you can also create Facebook ads. I don't know, I wouldn't use this because I can do this on Facebook, so I don't really see the need for me to do it here. But if you want to try it out, just come here and click this. The interface for this is much simpler than the one for Facebook, but it doesn't really matter. I can do the same thing on Facebook, so I wouldn't see any need why I should come and do it here. So right now, let me just click on create an email, and I will show you the options that we have for emails. So here we have different types of emails. The normal email newsletter / the campaign that you usually create is a regular campaign. Now a regular campaign is the one where you'll use a template. In the last video you saw me create a plain text, and the reason I did the plain text is because I didn't want to go through the step of dealing with templates. So if you want to create a plain text, you can click here and just create a plain text where you'll just write what you need to write, and if you need to add any merge tags, you'll just add those merge tags directly into the text, the same way I did in the last video. So if you didn't watch that, just go back and finish that section. Now regular campaigns, these are campaigns that have the templates. So if you want to make a beautiful email newsletter, you will come here under regular, you'll give your campaign a name, and then you will continue on to the next step. And from the next step, this is just similar to everything I've shown you in the past about how to create campaigns. It will just be the same process. And then we have automated. Now automated, this is the part that has automations. So if you want to create automations, you will need to come under automated, choose the type of trigger that you want. The trigger is a mechanism that will set the automation in motion. So if maybe your trigger is, if somebody subscribes, send them a welcome email. After 2 days, send them something else. Or maybe you want to do one of those e-commerce automations whereby if someone abandons the cart, maybe you send them an email after 6 hours, and then after that you can also send them another one. So the trigger is a mechanism that is used to set the automation in motion. And then there are also other ways for the trigger to happen. So it can be based on subscriber activity. maybe a new subscriber comes in, maybe a subscriber changes something about their contact details, maybe they change their birthday, maybe they change where they live, maybe they change the group in which they are in your list. So that will enable the automation to go out. So this can be one trigger. Or you can have date-based. Now date-based triggers. Now this trigger, this is maybe based on a certain date. So this is whereby you can say happy birthday to someone. If it is their birthday, you can send an email to someone, just tell them that you're thinking about them on their birthday, or maybe give them a special coupon on their birthday. So for this to happen, of course, you have to have a field that has dates. So these specific dates have got to be there. For example, when people are signing up into your list, they would need to give up their birth date so that on their birthday, you can send them an email. So you can also do this based on when the subscriber joined your list. If they joined from a certain date, you send them something. Those who joined before a certain date, maybe you send them something else. That's automation. And you also have a specific date. Maybe there's an event coming up. You send an email on that specific date to tell people that, hey, the event is tomorrow. Let it be in your calendar. So you can set this in motion well in advance. And then there are recurring dates. So maybe you're running a membership website. You send people an email telling them that, hey, it is end month, so you need to renew your subscription. If you want to do anything based on dates, you can just come here and do it. Or if you're using the API, you can come here and based on certain activities that happen in your API. So this is definitely advanced for advanced users. Anything that happens in your API, you can send a certain email based on the actions that you take in your API. You can also create custom triggers. So these are custom triggers. If none of these fit your need, then you'll just come here to custom and then you choose. Just give it a moment to load. You'll just come here, give your campaign a name. Let me call this automated test, and then you select the list. Maybe, of course, I'll use that list, and then I will go on to create a campaign that is automated based on actions that I'm going to choose myself. So let me just click begin so that we can see what alternatives we can have. So this is our first email. Let's choose a trigger for our first email. So let me say I choose a trigger for this. And if the trigger is not what I want, for example, the current trigger is a trigger whereby an email is sent out one day after they subscribe. If I want something manual, I will just go and change the trigger. So if you watch the video about automations, you saw me come here at some point. So this is just that same window, the same process. So maybe you want yours to work differently. So you can choose the trigger that you want. For example, you see this cannot be a fast trigger because our previous email has got to have been sent. Okay, so maybe you want to send a specific email once a certain email was sent, and then you may want to send a certain email only to people who opened a specific email. So if you want to do something like that, you would come here, but you see this cannot be the first. It cannot be the first trigger because you have got to have sent a certain email before you can use this trigger. So the idea is, first of all, you send a certain email, and then once that email has been sent, maybe you send a next email, which is a follow-up email to that one. And then you want to check this email that you sent. Maybe this is a second email. If it was opened, if they opened that email, you'll send them a certain email. If they don't, you won't send them this email. So maybe that's something that is custom that you may want to create in your automation. So if you want something that is custom, you can do it in the manner that I've shown you. Okay? So if you have any questions, let me know. In the next video, I will go back and automations, and then we'll continue on looking at any other things under the options of creating a campaign. So if you have any questions, make sure you let me know, and if you haven't left a review, just go ahead and leave yours right away. I will see you next time. Hi and welcome back. So in this video, what you're going to create is an RSS feed. So an RSS feed such that every time you update your website or you add a new blog post on your site, it will be sent out to your subscribers. So that's what we are going to create in this video. So we are going to create an RSS campaign. And what is RSS? RSS is basically certain kinds of feeds that will show people that there is updated content. So for example, if you run a WordPress website, every time you add a new post and someone is subscribed to your RSS, they will know that there's a new post. So when there are updates, people will get updated when a new feed is added on your RSS feed. So for example, if I come here to my site, Bizanosa, if I come to bizanosa.com and I am using WordPress. So with WordPress, if you want to go to your RSS, if you want to see your RSS feed, you'll just go to RSS/feed. And if I go to bizanosa.com/feed, if you're using WordPress, you also go to your domain/feed, and that should, if your template is built the way most WordPress templates are built, you'll be able to access your feed here. So this is my feed. It has all my latest posts. And for me, I added some code on my template so that it can show even pages. So if I add new pages, it will be shown here. But in most cases, you'll just find that yours will only show the latest posts. So let me take this link because I'm going to need it in Mailchimp. So if I come back to Mailchimp, I want to create an RSS campaign such that whenever a new post is added on my site, it will automatically get sent to my subscribers. That is one way. Or you can set it up such that you can only send it once a week. And I think that's the one I'm going to go with. You can send it once a week. You can even send it once a month. So it's entirely up to you, depending on what you prefer. So let's get started right away by creating a campaign. And I will come here and I'll click on create campaign. And then I'll go into create an email. And here I'll go into automated campaign because that is an automated campaign that you want to set up. And if you see here, you'll see this share blog updates. This is the one that we want. So I'll just click on it. And when I click on it, let me give it a name. Let's say something like blog RSS content. And then you select the list for which you want to create. You select the list for which you want to create the RSS campaign. So for me, let me choose this one. And then I'll just say begin. The next step, add all these settings. So if you know your RSS feed, just add it here. In most cases, if you're using something like WordPress, you can just use your domain. If you use your domain, it will be able bizanosa.com. It will be able to pull the feed for you. But since I know my feed URL, I'll just put it there. If you're using WordPress, also just use this, because with WordPress, you'll find that your domain/feed will automatically give you your RSS feed. And then down here, choose how often do you want to send this to your subscribers. So you can send it daily, as you can see here. You can send it weekly or monthly. Let me say I want to send mine weekly, and you can choose the day that you want to send it on that weekly. So I'll choose every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Moscow time. I know that is plus 3 hours GMT, so that's okay right there. And then down here, resize the images. So if there are images in your posts, yeah, sure, you can resize them. You can go ahead and read this just to learn more about this RSS campaigns. Just go ahead and click on this and learn them and read them to learn more. It will be very helpful for you. Then I'll just go next. Maybe you only want to send it to a certain segment of your list, or you want to send it to a group, or you want to send it to the entire list. In my case, of course, I want to send it to the entire list, and therefore I'll leave that checked, and then I'll just go next. And then here we'll encounter the normal campaign stuff, campaign name. This one will help you to know which campaign you're working with while you're in the Mailchimp campaign area, where there are so many campaigns. If you have so many of them, you will be able to identify it based on the name. And then here you can give your email a subject. You can see this is using the merge tag for the campaign, is using the merge tag for the title of my feed. And you can do this. You can use these feeds. I'm just going to leave them, or you can use your own words. If you want to write something here, that's up to you, but I'm just going to leave this as they are, so that every time it is sent, the title and then the date for that particular feed. So this will be the date for which it is sent. And then the preview text. This is what people will see when they're previewing. Maybe if you've ever received an email on Gmail on your Android phone, you'll see this. So you can add something there, but I'm just going to leave that one blank because I can. Then from name, these are things that you've encountered in the past while working with campaigns. And if you haven't, just go back and watch those videos. Even though this is an updated video, you can just go back and watch those videos and you'll be able to understand all of these others. So I'm not going to change anything here. I'm just going to click next and continue. And then as usual, you have to choose a template. So you can choose any of these templates to work with them, but I want to start from scratch, so I can just choose any one of these. Let me take this one column, and then I'll show you how you can add the RSS content in there, so that every time it is sent out, it will pull the blog posts from your website. So here we are. So if you know the merge tags for the RSS, you can use them here. But the easiest way is for you to just come down here. If you scroll down here, you'll see this RSS item. There is RSS header. So that's what I'm going to use. So I can also add an image here, just as a heading image, as a header image. So you can add an image. Let me just add any image, one that I already have here. Why not? Then I'll click on insert. Let me see what else I can remove from here. This, I don't really need these items. I can just delete this. Yes, delete. Anything else here? So let me drop in the RSS items first. Of course, I'll drop it there. And then I can edit it. So I'll just come here and click there to edit it. It's already here. You can choose to have excerpts. If you want to see the excerpts of your posts, you can use this, or if you want the full content, you can use that. But I want custom. I want to use custom because it gives me a lot more power. So with this, I could edit some of these elements, especially if you know some of the RSS merge tags. You can just come here and add them. So like we have different RSS merge tags that you can use. You can take some of them, put them in there if you want to use them. But the default one here that has these elements, it's just fine. Okay. You can edit it as much as you want to. You can add anything here if you want to, but I'm not going to add anything. I'm just going to use the default as it is. So RSS recent, this one will show us the latest posts. Okay, 5 latest posts. So anything else, if you want to add anything in this content, you can go ahead and add. Okay, so here, if you need any help with RSS merge tags, just come here, click on this so that you can see which merge tags are available for you to use, and you can add them here if you want to. You can make this as complicated as you want to. So I'll just save and close. So you see here I've chosen custom, and you can choose that as well. And then I want to add this header. Let me put it here. So let's see, what do we have? Let me just select that intermediate. It will tell us the latest posts from the URL. This will tell us the URL of the site, so that will be Bizanosa, and then it will say the date. Okay, and the RSS feed title, this is going to show the title for my site. So this the title that you put on your website in your settings, that will be shown here. Let me see what else we have here. Okay, that's just it. I don't want anything that is overly complicated, just something simple. So if I come here and preview, I enter the preview mode, I should be able to see my content here. So as you've seen, this is the title that I have in my WordPress settings. My website's name is Bizanosa, and then it also brings this. And then this is the latest post with all of this. Then the recent articles right here. So you can see this is very simple. If you get access, just come here. Okay, read this. You can try different things if you want to. You can add any of these merge tags if you want to. All right, so let me close that. Then let me come here and Control A, and I want everything to be aligned like that. Then I will save and close. If I come back and preview, let me see if the changes have taken effect. So you can see everything has been left aligned. Our list, recent articles, that you can add an image here if you want to, just at least to tell people something, but this is simple enough. Or even if you want to make this, let's click. If you want to make these items bold, where are they? This one's recent. You can make them bold. You can increase the font. I don't know which font is there now. You can increase the font if you want to. And of course, if you increase the font of that, it's only wise to increase the font of this one further. So like that. And if I save and close, then I come and preview this. Let's see if that makes any effect. Yes, and it becomes bigger. That's much more legible. So for me, it brings for me the latest posts, and as I told you, my RSS feeds bring everything I publish on my site. It brings that up. For you, it's probably just going to bring the latest. It's just going to bring the latest posts, but for me, it brings everything. I have different post types on my website, so it brings all of them. Like you can see, these are some quotes, and it's bringing this because these are the last items that were published. So just with that, just with that, what I'll do, I will go next. I hope I've removed everything that comes by default in Mailchimp. There. And then let me see if everything is a go. There we go. Everything is a go. Social cards. No, doesn't really matter. And then I can choose to start it. What option do we have here? So I can send now and start RSS campaign. So let me click send now. This will send it right away. So if there are any errors, people are going to receive this. I hope everything is okay with it. So that's it pretty much. That's how you set up an RSS campaign. So this will be sent weekly. Every Tuesday at 5 p.m. this will be sent. And you have to note that it will only be sent if there's a new post. In the past week, there has been a new post. If there hasn't been a new post, it will not be sent. Bear that in mind. If yours is daily, then on a daily basis, it will be sent. But only if and only if there was a post that was published. If a post wasn't published, it's not going to get sent out. So that's how to create an RSS campaign, so that every time you publish a new post, it gets sent. People, your followers, will know that there is a new content. Your website has been updated. So this is very helpful, at least to keep your visitors engaged. If you're like me and you never send out any campaigns because you're a lazy marketer, yeah, this will help. At least people will know that you're still there. So if you want to set up your RSS, I have shown you how to do it in this video. The first step, click on create a campaign, go to automation, automated, and then you choose send blog or something in that nature, and then you give it a name, you choose the list. Once you've chosen the list, you go through each and every step until you get to the template. The most important part, of course, is the template. You have to create the template yourself. If you just use one of the templates that is provided there, it won't have the RSS merge tags. And you must note that the RSS merge tags are what makes this possible, such that when the emails are sent out, it pulls the content from your website. So that's it for this video. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know and leave your review so that I can see if there's anything else that you still need help with, or there are any videos that you feel I should add or update. I will see you in the next video. Hi and welcome back. So let's continue on with campaigns and automations. So in this video, what I want us to do is I want us to create one of those e-commerce automations. And if you come to this page on Mailchimp, so just a step back, if there's anything that you need to know how to do and you don't know how to do it, most of the times you'll find that there will probably be an article about it on Mailchimp. So if you go to kb.mailchimp.com, that is the knowledge base for Mailchimp. So you can just go to kb.mailchimp.com and search for anything that you want to do. If it is not there, then you can ask me, or you can find a solution somewhere online. So here on this page, we have automation types. So there are different automation types, okay? And what I want us to do, I want to make sure that at least when I'm done with this section, you have a good understanding of this automation thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create certain different automation types. The one that I want to start with is e-commerce. Now the e-commerce ones, these are the ones that have to do with things like if someone abandons a cart, you can send them an email 10 hours later reminding them, hey, you left something in your cart, go back and continue with your purchase. So that's an abandoned cart. You can even create a series of emails such that if they don't buy it when you send them the reminder email, you can send them another one and another one. So I want to start with this one. Create an abandoned cart. So if you come to this page and if I click this, we're going to start by creating an abandoned cart email. So the first thing you have to understand about abandoned cart is with Mailchimp, it will work with WooCommerce, it will work with Shopify, it will work with PrestaShop and Magento. So if you're using the Mailchimp plugin, it's called Mailchimp for WooCommerce, and then there's Mailchimp for PrestaShop, then there's Mailchimp for Shopify. So if you're using those, then you will be able to do this automation. So if I come here, so before you start, you ought to be using one of these plugins. If you're using WooCommerce for your e-commerce platform, then you'll click there and install it if you haven't installed it yet. If you're using Shopify, you'll click there and install it, learn how to install it, then you can do the same for PrestaShop and Magento. So I don't have a WooCommerce store, I don't have a Mailchimp, I don't have a PrestaShop store, and I don't have a Magento store. But I do have a Shopify developers account. So with my developers account, I have a sample store, Shopify store, and I can use that for this demonstration. So if I click here and I open this, I will be able to see the steps. So the reason why I'm showing you this while I'm working on the knowledge base is to show you that even if you don't know how to do something, just go to kb.mailchimp.com, search for whatever it is you want to try to do. If you see an article that is somewhat related to what you're trying to do, then you can go ahead, click on it and follow the steps. That's why I'm going through this step by step, showing you how you can do anything just using the knowledge base. So before you start, you need to know all this. And then if I scroll down, let me see what you have here. Of course, the simple step of creating an automation. So before we get there, the first thing I have to do is let me enable this on my Shopify store. So in the next video, what I'm going to do, I'm going to log into my Shopify developers account. Then I'm going to go to my store, my sample store, where I'm going to add the Mailchimp for Shopify app, which will enable us to integrate Mailchimp and Shopify. And this will in turn enable us to do lots of different things, such as if you want to send an email based on a certain product, you want to send a follow-up email, you want to send an abandoned cart email so that they can go back and do a purchase. That is what this will enable us to do if we install this, if we activate this on Mailchimp and we integrate it with Shopify. And that's what I'm going to do in the next video. So I will see you in the next video. Hi and welcome back. In this video, let's continue from where we left in the last video. And in this video, let's go ahead and install the Mailchimp for Shopify app. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go to my integrations so that I can integrate Shopify and Mailchimp. So if I come here, you'll see this is my store and it is a sample store on Shopify. So if you have a real store, yours will just look like this. There won't be any difference. So let me go back into Mailchimp and then I will come here under my name and then you come into connected sites. So the goal is to connect Mailchimp and Shopify. So if you're using WordPress, that is WooCommerce, or you're using PrestaShop, or you're using Magento, the process is just going to be like this. But for the others, you'll have to install the plugins. For WooCommerce, you'll have to install the plugin. For PrestaShop, you'll also have to install the PrestaShop app. For Magento, you'll have to install the Magento plugin. So if you come here, connected sites, you can get started. You see, you can have Shopify, you can have BigCommerce, you can have Magento and WooCommerce. So let me just click on get started so that we can connect Mailchimp, and Shopify. So you will choose the platform that you're using, and these are the major e-commerce platforms. So if you're using any of them, just click on the one that you're using, and then you'll follow the step-by-step process to connect it with Mailchimp. So for me, I want to use Shopify because I don't have any of these other stores. I don't have any sample that I can use. Once I select Shopify, I'll just come down here and click on Next. And then of course, I would have to enter my Shopify URL. So if I come back here, my Shopify URL will be this. I will put that in there. Next. And then it will redirect me here where I will be able to install the Mailchimp for Shopify app. So if I scroll down, I will be able to install the app. So I can read all of this just to see what this app will be able to do, but I don't really mind. I'll just click on Install App. So this will only come for you if you don't have the app already installed on Shopify. If it is already installed, then this process will just be bypassed. And then of course, you have to choose which list will be working with your Shopify store. So everything that happens for that store, if people buy things, any data, it will be linked to a particular list. So which list do you want to link it with? I will just click this list, but you see you can also create a new one. Maybe you want to call it the same name as your store. So you can go ahead and create a new one, or you can choose one which is already there. So if I choose one which is already there, I'll just click Next. So it says that my store is connected and the app is also installed on Shopify. So that means that we can go ahead and create our e-commerce abandoned cart automation, so that whenever someone starts to make a purchase and then in the middle of it, they don't complete the purchasing process, then you can create an automation which will automatically send them an email after a certain number of hours, reminding them to go and purchase whatever it is they had started purchasing and they did not complete the process. So I'll click All Done. You can do all these things. You can disconnect. You can disconnect the store if you want to. You can add another store if you want to add another store. Maybe it's a Shopify store or any of those other stores such as PrestaShop, Magento, or WooCommerce. So you can add a pop-up on your store. Just by clicking here, you'll be able to add a pop-up. You see just right here, you can also create an abandoned cart email just right here. You can also create a product retargeting email. So maybe someone looked at that and they did not buy it, they did not add it to the cart. You can create something like that. So you can see with Mailchimp and Shopify, this is very easy to do, because the moment you connect the two, the moment you integrate them, then you see all these options will come up for you and you can just go ahead and click what you need to do. So maybe you want to create order notifications. So one thing about Shopify usually sends this. So let's go and remove that setting. So if I come here into my store and let's look at order. Let's see if it is here. No, actually what I need is to go into the settings, which are, I need to go to the checkout settings, which I know will definitely be in here. So if I come here, we have online store, themes. Let me look at settings, because the interface for Shopify, it was recently changed. That's why I'm struggling with this, finding what I'm looking for. But yeah, so here they are. You just come and click on settings, and all the settings that you want to work with will be here. So the one that I want is here under checkout. So if I go here into checkout settings, I want to disable something from there. So you see this automatically, this is one of them. So this is one that is also automatically sent by Shopify. If you want to use Mailchimp for this, you can disable this. So you can see this thing is also available on Shopify itself. But if you want a custom message, then you can use the one for Shopify. So in this case, I'll just say never. And let me see which one. We have to ask for permissions to send emails to your customers from your store. So this, by default, when somebody purchases something from you, as long as you have the Mailchimp for Shopify installed, they will automatically be added into your list. But maybe you don't want that, okay? So maybe you want a situation whereby you have to ask them for permission. So in that case, let me make this my default. Customer doesn't agree to receive promotional emails, okay? If you have this, then they will automatically be added. So most people will probably have this. But Mailchimp advises that you use this one. So let me just click that. And then after an order has been paid, automatically fulfill the order. That has nothing to do with Mailchimp. The two that I wanted to change, I have changed. And once you make these changes, I'll just come here and save. So just a reminder of what this is. This is done automatically by Shopify. So if somebody adds a product to the cart and they don't buy the product, Shopify can also send them an email later on, okay? But this is only going to get sent one time. So one of the reasons why you may want to use Mailchimp for this is so that you can set up an automated sequence whereby you send a first one, and if they still don't buy the product or they don't even open the product, you send another one. So that's one reason why you may want to use Mailchimp and not the custom default one, which is available here on Shopify. So that's it for this section. I'll just go ahead and save this changes. So in the next video, what I'm going to do, since I've already connected this, I can go ahead and create any of these emails here. But of course, we are working under campaigns. So I will go back to campaigns, and in campaigns, we're going to create an automated email for this, which is an abandoned cart, which you can also just go ahead and create it here. So I know most of you probably, once you watch this video, you will be confused how to get back here. So if you want to get back here, you'll just go back to, you'll come under your name and then you go to connected sites. So under connected sites, you will see any sites that you've connected. So you can see if I go to connected sites, it brings me back here. So even if you are on the dashboard, you can just come under your account name, go to connected sites, and it will bring you here. And if you want to add another site, go ahead and add another site. Maybe you have another Shopify store, or you have another WooCommerce store, or you have another Magento store. Just go ahead and add it. Or if you want to remove a certain store, just click on disconnect and it will be disconnected. So I will see you in the next video. And in the next video, let's create an abandoned cart email, and we are going to create it under campaigns. So let me just click on campaigns, and I will see you in the next video. Hello and welcome back. So in the last video, we connected Mailchimp and Shopify. So if you didn't watch that video, go back, because it's going to be very instrumental in your e-commerce setup. For the other platforms such as Magento, WooCommerce, just go to Google and search for, maybe you're using WooCommerce, search for Mailchimp for WooCommerce, and then you can go to your WordPress, add new plugin, and then you'll add the WooCommerce plugin for Mailchimp. So there is Mailchimp for WooCommerce, there is Mailchimp for PrestaShop, and you will find all the details on how to install them right here on Mailchimp. So in this video, what we want to do is we want to create an abandoned cart email. So if someone puts a product in their shopping cart but they don't complete the purchase, this will be sent to them automatically after a couple of hours, depending on what settings you put. So in the last video, you saw me come into the Shopify checkout settings, and you saw me disable this, which also does the same thing. So what this does is, if someone puts an item in their shopping cart and yet doesn't complete the purchase, then you can choose after how many hours they will be sent another email that reminds them to at least go ahead and complete the purchase. So that's why I disabled this, because if I'm going to do the same thing with Mailchimp and I still have it enabled here, then people will be receiving double emails. So they'll receive one from Shopify and they'll receive one from Mailchimp. That's also, it seems like it's a good thing, you know, like you can say maybe you send one after 1 hour here, and then on the other end in Mailchimp you send one after 6 hours. Yeah, you can enable this if you want to. I mean, I see sense in having it, but if you only want one sent out, then you don't need to enable this. So just come to settings down here, and then you go into checkout and you'll find these options. So if I come back here, I want to create an automation. So I will click on create campaign. So let's call it, it's automated. First of all, select automated, and then we want to go into e-commerce. The one that we are interested in is this one, for recover abandoned carts. So if you have to create any of these others, okay, you can create them. You see that we have here, thank a first-time customer. You can create a specific email and create a specific email that will be sent out to people who have never purchased from you, and that will be known based on their email. So if you want to set that up, go ahead. You also have reward your best customers. Maybe someone purchases so many times from you, you can set that up here and at least show them that you appreciate their support. And you can also have retarget site visitors. If there are people who visit your website, you can send them an email to remind them about anything that you have on your site. If there is something that is new, you can create that right here. So let's just go ahead and click on recover abandoned carts. So if someone doesn't buy something and yet they had started buying it, then you'll send them an email. So you can see my store has already been connected. If yours is not connected, go back into the last video and see how I did it. And my store is based on Shopify. So if you're using one of the others, just go to kb.mailchimp.com and find a way of how to connect any of those other platforms, whether it's WooCommerce, PrestaShop, or Magento. So I will just continue with my shop. You see, it tells you you're almost finished. This is a draft. So it sends to. These are the settings that you may need to change to fit your own scenario. So for example, sends to, I can edit here. And I can change the number of hours. If I want it sent 1 hour after they abandon the cart, or we want it sent 24 hours, it entirely depends on what you want. You can just come here and change the hours, change the delay period, and then you can change from who. If you want to use a different name, maybe you want to use your store name. Like you can see, this is not the name on my store. So if maybe I want to add my store name, I can do that here, click save. Or maybe I want to use a different email, I will just use that right there for consistency purposes. So once you make any changes, make sure you save. I'll just cancel that. You can change the subject to be something that is maybe clickable friendly. You can also add these emojis which are here. Use whichever you want. And then save. I'm not going to change that. Let me scroll down. And then the most important part is the content. So you can see in the content section, you have to design your email, because if you save this, it's just going to send an empty template. You don't want an empty template going to people. So let's see how we can design it and add the cart elements. So you can see how you have different templates that you can use, and make sure you use these ones, because some of these do not support this functionality as of yet. So make sure you use one of these and just edit it appropriately. So I want to use this. It seems to be the simplest of all of this. So let me click there. You can see we are here in the template editor. So this will automatically work. You can see it already has the merge tags for the product. This will get replaced with the product price, and this will get replaced with the product title. So product title, product price. And if you click here, it will take you to the link. You see, it will link to the abandoned cart page. So all of this is working seamlessly with Shopify. So you can just use it as it is and everything will just work well. Or if you want to continue editing this, for instance with this, you can add an image here, but I'm going to delete this. I don't want to add any image. Delete. So if somebody forgets to buy something, abandons the cart, they don't complete the purchase, and this is sent out, this will get replaced with the actual product that they had put in their cart. You can also add product recommendations. So if I save this and close, I can come back here and you see we still have these options here. You see we have something here called product, we have product recommendation, we have cart. Okay, so let me just drag all of them one by one here. I have cart, drag that in there, and that's the same thing. Okay, you can see this is the same thing as we have up there. So if you're using any template, you can just add it, right? Like you can just drag it in there. I'll delete that, delete yes. And then you see we have product recommendations. So if maybe you want to recommend certain products, you can just click on product recommendation, drag it in here, and then if you have specific products that you want to recommend, it will take the products from your store. So if you go to your Shopify store, you can recommend certain products. So you can choose what you want to, what details you want to have for that specific product. So if you want to change anything here, you can just remove. Maybe you want to show the price, you can remove the price. If you want to show something, and then the buttons will link to the product page. So this will automatically link to the product that you have. And if you want to change the button, you can change it to read more or whatever you want to change it to. Or if you want to change it to buy now, you can change it like that and it will change these buttons. Then we also have the promo code. So this promo code, if maybe you want to give them a promo code, somebody didn't complete their purchase, maybe you can entice them back using a promo code. So you can create a promo code on your Shopify store, and then you add them using this e-commerce merge tag. So you see I don't have any promo codes, but if I had any promo codes, if I come back here into my store, you can add these discounts. Okay, so you can create one. So if you click on discounts, you'll be able to create a discount and then share those with your subscribers. So maybe you can call it SES. It can be percentage, fixed amount price. Let's say it's percentage and we make it 30%. and then applies to entire order, or you can use for selected items, entirely up to you. But let me just save this. And now you can see the discount is active. So if I come back, let me refresh promo codes. Once I refresh, you see that I have my promo code here. I have my discount code. So I can search, or I can just see which ones that I have, and I can enable that for this. So if you want to give out promo codes, then this is one way you can do it. You just go to your Shopify store, you create a discount, and then you come back here and add this block for promo code. So I'm very sorry about guys who are not using Shopify. I would have loved to show examples of how to do everything with each of the others, but I don't want the course to be extremely long. So most of it you'll have to find out how to do on your own. And the good thing is that there is so much information on the internet. So this is just a simple template, okay? I'm not going to use it for anything, but at least I've shown you how to use all these other elements. You see, we have the cart, we have the promo code, we have the product recommendation, and we have the product. Now the product recommendation is if you want to recommend certain products. So you can use a Shopify app. There are certain apps that have product recommendation. You can install one of those apps because this functionality is not available in Shopify by default. So let me just drag this here so that you can see. So if I click on it to edit it, number of recommendations to, range to display there, link to the product page. So if you have products which are related to this product, they will be shown here. So make sure you're using an app on Shopify that shows recommended products. At least that will ensure that these products are filled up so that your subscribers don't see things like this. So that's pretty much it for this section. I don't really need to edit anything else. Yeah, let me just remove this, delete that, and once I delete that, I can come here, save this, and continue. Something that I didn't do, I did not preview this. You can preview it and send it to yourself just to make sure that it works seamlessly, because if it doesn't work well and you send an email that is erroneous to your subscribers, it is not a good look for you. So make sure you test it, send it to yourself, or you can just view a test sample on Mailchimp. So I guess this is everything, and now that I'm done editing everything, I can just come here and say start sending. So anytime somebody comes, tries to buy a product on my store, and they don't complete the purchase, this will be sent to them automatically after 6 hours. So you saw that there's a similar functionality in Shopify. So in Shopify, you can also enable this functionality and it will work just by default without you having to do anything, and it will be sent to everyone. They don't have to be subscribed to you. So if you want both of them to be working, maybe you can put one to send after 24 hours, or you can put one to send after 6 hours. And it's advisable to put the one for Mailchimp to send after 24 hours later, because as soon as they buy, the queue will be removed. So let's say that I come to your store, I try to buy something and I don't complete, and the way you have set up your abandoned cart is such that after 6 hours it will be sent to me. So maybe if after 5 hours I go back to the store and I buy what I didn't complete purchasing, then the email will not be sent to me. So if within that time I buy something, it won't get sent. I hope you understand what I mean. So that's it for this video, and I'm sorry for people who are not using Shopify. I wish I would have there was a way I could show you the others, but just go ahead and find the solutions online. I know they will be there, and if you're stuck, just let me know. So in this video, you have learned how you can set up an abandoned cart. Okay, so it would have been a short video, but I went on showing you different things that are also important, certain blocks that you can also use and add into your template. So if you have any questions, make sure you let me know, and I will see you in the next video. Hi. In the last video, we created this automation, which is an abandoned cart for my Shopify store. If you have any questions about that, make sure you let me know. And if you're using any of those other platforms that I didn't do an illustration for, such as WooCommerce, Magento, PrestaShop, BigCommerce, if you're using any of those, just go online and find a solution. I'm sure you'll get something. You will always get an answer online. Now in this video, let's create a series. Now this is a one-time email whereby when somebody goes to my store, my Shopify store in this case, and they put something in the cart, but they don't finalize the purchase process, this will be sent to them after 6 hours. Now, the one that I want to create is one whereby you'll send one after 6 hours, and then maybe you'll send another one after a day, maybe you'll send another one after another day. So that's the one we're going to create, and that's called a series abandoned cart, an abandoned cart series. So to create it, you know how to create automations by now. You just go into create campaign, and then you choose create email, and then you choose automated. So we'll choose automated, and then here we want to go into e-commerce to get one that is already predefined for us. If any of this do not match what you want to do, you can do custom, and you will be able to choose the triggers that you want for your automation. In this case, I want mine to be a series of abandoned carts, and in order to do that, I will just click on this and then click on email series. Then I can give it a name. I'll just leave it there at email series. It doesn't really matter what I call it. And then you can see my store is already connected. So before you can work with this, you must make sure that your store is already connected. And if you watched the video that comes before the one we did last, you'll see how to connect your store with Shopify. And you can also connect your store with other platforms such as WooCommerce. Just install the plugin, follow the steps, and you will see your store here. So for me, I only have this one store. If I had more stores, I would be able to select the store that I want to work with. But since I want to work with this one, I'll just click on begin, and then I will be able to create my email series. So this is a window that you're definitely familiar with. If you scroll down on Udemy, there is a section called updates. So under updates, I have a video about automation, which is like 20 minutes long. So you'll be very familiar with this window because I did a video whereby I was creating like 6 automated emails. And that's the same thing that we're going to do here. There's absolutely no difference. We're just going to do the same thing here. So if you want to edit the trigger, you can edit the trigger. Maybe you want this to be sent after 6 hours. You can just come here, and then you change the number of hours, maybe 5 hours, and then update trigger. So if someone abandons the cart in this store after 5 hours, they will receive the first email. Okay. And the most important thing about this is the design of the email. So you see the schedule. This is daily. You can change the schedule. That is, if you want it to be sent at a specific time, or you want it to be sent, not to be sent on specific days, you can go here and edit that. If you want a segment, you can edit the segment as well. So let's see what this is all about. So maybe you can just send this to a specific segment. You can create a segment in the list of your subscribers, but since I don't have any subscribers, I will not be able to create any segment. You know how to create segments? There is a video I did about segmentation, just watch that. Nothing has changed about creating segments, it's still the same process. And then actions, let's see what actions we have here. So here under actions, if you want to add any actions, just click there. So once the email has been sent, maybe you want to move someone from somewhere, or you want to unsubscribe somebody from your list. Once you send this to them, then you can do this. So this is something that you can use in a custom setting. Maybe there are certain people you've sent them so many emails, they never open, and you maybe create an automation whereby you just track that process, whereby in the end, if they don't open a certain email, you just say, you know what, just delete them from the list. So you can come up with an automation whereby this will be necessary. Okay, so you can also add them to a group. Maybe you create a certain group within your list, you can add them after the email has been sent. I will just uncheck this because that is not going to help us here. So the most important thing for this one is the email. So let's see what you have here. You can delete this email if you don't need it. Let's go and design our email. So the first email, you can give it whatever title that you want. You can give it whatever subject that you want. You can add emojis if you want to. You can add a preview text. This is what will appear maybe on an Android phone when the email is sent to them. You can change the name. Maybe you want to use your store name, not your name. So if all these settings are okay for you, you can go next. Just like in the last process, you can do it using any of these templates. Let me just choose this one and we're going to edit it. So the first email, they're just going to receive the product that they did not buy. Just like with the last one, you see we have our template here. It will replace the product and the product title, the product price. If there are any products that they added inside the cart and they did not complete the purchase, that will be replaced here and they will be able to see which products those were. And then here they can go to checkout and they'll be able to continue with the purchase. So you can just use this. You don't really have to edit it. You can also change this content here. You can add an image there if you want to. That's entirely up to you. So that's it for this one. Let me just save and continue. You can also add any of this if you want to add this. I showed you how to use them in the last video. And just like that, our first email is ready to be sent. If someone doesn't complete the purchase, they will receive this after 5 hours. And then the next one, you see the trigger is a day after the subscribers abandoned the cart and the previous email was sent. So if this email wasn't sent, this will not go. If 1 day has not elapsed, this will not be sent. Okay, so with this, I know we don't really need to change anything. If you want to change any of the settings, go ahead and do so. But for us, we just want to design the email. So any of these settings, if you want to change them, go ahead and change them. Maybe you want to use this, a different heading for this, a different subject for this. Go ahead and try a different heading if you want to. In my case, I'm just going to click next. And then choose your template. Maybe for this one, let me just choose this. Once again, you can edit this template as much as you want to, okay? However you want to edit your template, go ahead and do it as much as you want to. In my case, I'm just doing samples, so I don't really care how my template appears. And you can see with this one, it doesn't have the product. So we can add the product just by coming down here. There is the cart. So let's add the cart, okay? Just so that they can know that their product is still in the cart. So when they receive this email, any product that they had inside the cart will be shown to them. You can also change the number of products here. So this is a maximum product. It will just show them these 3 products. If they had 1 product in their cart, they will be shown 1. If they had 10 products in their cart, they will be shown 3. So bear that in mind. Images will link to the user's abandoned cart. So the images for the product, these ones, will link to the product. So when they click on the images, it will take them to the product page, whereby they will be able to continue shopping. Let me just click this, save, and close. Let me see how this button can help us. If I add it here, and if I add this button, you can see it automatically links to my store because I'm using the automation that is predefined for abandoned carts. So you can link to the abandoned cart page, which will take them to where they can see all the products that they left inside of their cart. So I'll just save this and close, and that will be the end for this template. I can save it and continue, and that will be the end of our second email. So there we go. Our first email will be sent 5 hours after cart abandonment, and then the second one will be sent 1 day after cart abandonment, and the third one will be sent 3 days after the subscriber abandons a cart. So you can change this, okay? You can just come here and edit the trigger. If you want these things to be sent maybe weeks after, you can do that. If you want to add another email down here, you can do that. You can even send them something every single day. It's entirely up to you to decide what you want to do. So let's edit our last email here, which is sent after 3 days. Okay, so you can change any of these items. It just started raining outside. I hope the noise is not going to be too much to hinder the recording. So I'll just click next, go to the next item so that you can edit our template. And then again, you want to remind them to buy the product. So you'll just choose the one that you want. So let me choose the template. I'll choose this template and then use it for the last email. So that's it pretty much. I am not going to edit this. If you need to edit anything, you know how to do that, because I've shown you how you can just come here and drag any of these elements onto your template. So if you need to add anything here, just come here, drag it here, and edit it appropriately. In my case, I don't really care how mine appears. I'm just going to click save and continue to end the email series. So that's it for this part. In this part, what you've learned is how to create abandoned email series, whereby when someone abandons a cart, you will send them a first email, you'll send them a second email, and then you will send them a third email 3 days later. So if you look at the trigger for this, okay, the trigger for the second one, it says 1 day after subscriber abandons a cart from your store and a previous email was sent. So what this previous email was sent means is that in the abandoned cart setting, someone may go back and purchase the product. So if they go back and they purchase the product, this is not going to get sent, and therefore this one will also not get sent. That's why you have this previous email was sent. So if they go back and they buy an item, this sequence will stop for that particular subscriber. They're not going to receive an email anymore. It's also important to note that if you want to send many more of these emails, just click here to add an email, and you'll add another one, add a trigger, edit the email, and that will add to your sequence. So that's it for this video. What you have learned is how you can create an abandoned email series, whereby whenever someone tries to buy something, they don't complete the process, you will send them an email 5 hours after they abandon the cart. Another one will be sent a day later, another one will be sent 3 days later. So that's it for this video. But before I end it, let's set this sequence in motion by clicking on next. So here you will be able to preview if there are any errors. If there are any errors, your sequence will not be activated. Okay, so as you can see, mine doesn't have any error. Some cases you will find that yours will have some errors. If there is any error, you'll just see that this is a different color and it is not this. If I come here, I can click on start workflow. You're about to start this workflow, which contains 3 emails. Yes, start the workflow. So I think the way that Mailchimp is headed towards a marketing automation platform, and I believe that's one of the reasons why they made automation free for every Mailchimp user. So you see, with this you can automate your website, you can automate your store. Whenever someone doesn't buy something, they'll just receive an email. There are also a bunch of other e-commerce automations that you can use, you can implement for your store. So that's it for this video. If you have any questions, make sure you let me know and I will see how to assist you. So if you haven't left your review as of yet, please go ahead and leave your review. I will see you in the next video. So I will see you next time.